Hello and welcome back. I want to talk about one of the things that I have found to be one of the great evils in our world, in our society. I should be more in our agreement to follow this idea of society. Hope. You see it in movies. You hear spiritual leaders talking about hope, the Dalai Lama. You hear it everywhere. It's ingrained into our being at this point. We are trained from a very early age to look at hope as one of the qualities of humanity that is of highest value. A lot of people think of hope and they imagine a world without hope, and that world seems very dark. Hope seems to have this quality of redemption, this quality of saying everything will be all right. But in reality, hope is the biggest enabler in your life. Hope is the thing, the concept that you hold in your life that prevents you from taking actual steps to change. Hope, in reality, is more of a barrier than it is a help. I've probably lost the 2 people that are watching this video already. And nope, that's not what hope is about. See you later, Danny. When you say, I hope tomorrow is sunny, what are you actually saying? You're saying, I can only be happy if it's sunny. On some level. You're saying, I won't be happy if it's not sunny. So your hope is a projection of your desire. And your desire is a projection of you wanting to feel good. It's an extension, a projection of your need for control and a projection of your belief that things need to go a certain way in order for you to feel good in life, for you to feel happy, for life itself to be right. When you say, I'm hopeful for the future, what you're actually saying is that I hope everything goes good. I hope nothing goes bad. I hope there's no bad. I hope there's more good than there's bad. That's what you're saying. When you say, I hope things work out well in the future. What you're basically doing is you're telling, if you believe in God and all those sort of things, I'm just going to use the word God for this example. You're telling God how to do his job, basically. You're saying, I don't care what you do, God, but if it's not like this, I'm not going to be happy. If it's like this, I'm going to be happy. And this is what you should be doing, God, because I want you to make me happy. Is what you're saying when you live in hope. Hope is handing over your power to actually do something for yourself. It's handing it over to the unknown. It's saying, I want this, but I don't have this, but I want this. So this is going to come in the future. I hope this comes in the future. This is what I want. This is what hope says. This is what I want. This is what I have. And they're different. And what I want is better than what I have. When you say, I hope for something, what you're actually saying is, I am not happy right now, but I want to be happy later. And when you say, I hope, you're giving it up. You're asking God, if you will, to fulfill what you think you need in order to feel happy. Hope separates you from the here and from the now. Hope separates you from reality. Hope gives you permission to close your eyes about what's going on around you and to keep your vision, your eyes in the future. Hope says, I hope it gets better. It sucks now. So in the meantime, I'm going to forget what is and look towards my hope and live off my hope for my happiness, because what is not good enough. So I hope it gets better. And in this meantime, you're in a split between reality and what you hope for. There's this gap because you're actually saying, I can only be happy if my hopes become fulfilled. But what happens if the whole world is going through a turmoil and everything seems wrong and bad? Don't we need hope in order to get through the day sometimes? Well, when a child is really young, we tend to protect them from certain experiences. We might close their eyes. You know, when something that only adults should see happens, we might say, don't listen, swear words. We might try our best to protect our child from certain things and experiences because we feel they're not ready for them. And in the same way that we try to protect our children from reality, when you live in hope, you're doing the same thing to yourself. On some level, you feel as though you're not able to deal with life as it is, because as it is, it's too painful. So you allow yourself to not feel it. You deny what it is. You may feel what you feel. You deny it. You say, no, I'm not going to give this truth. Instead, I'm going to live in my projection of what I want. And I'm going to hold myself in this idea, this hope for the future. So a person that lives in hope is a very immature being. You lack maturity. You lack spiritual maturity. And when I say what a spiritual maturity, what do I mean by spiritual maturity? Well, your body will age by itself. As you grow, you're going to have puberty. There are certain things that happen physically as your body matures, as your body ages. Spiritually, if a person stayed in a room their whole life and never experienced anything, and then all of a sudden you throw them into the world with the responsibilities of having to feed yourself and clothe yourself, find shelter, and then making friends and jobs and all of the in different aspects of life. If you take that person that's never experienced any of these things, even though he's physically mature, he doesn't have that inner maturity, emotional. He hasn't developed any of the self-talk, if you will, inside the mind, the ability to console yourself, the ability to not. Basically, this person may have never developed the ability to cope with life and what seems to be its challenges. So this spiritual maturity that I'm talking about on some level is your ability to cope with the difficulties of life. And in life, there are going to be difficulties. And when life becomes too difficult, we look to hope. We hope it gets better. I hope it's better, we say. This is what it is, but I hope it gets better. Now, there is a healthy way to look at hope. And in that last way I said it, it kind of leans more in that healthier direction or healthier outlook of hope. If you can accept what is, there's nothing wrong with wanting it to be what you feel is better. And the danger and evil of hope disappears when you accept what is. So take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. On one level, hope is okay, and on another level, hope can be very destructive. It all depends on whether you are looking at it from a spiritually mature standpoint or not. If you're looking at it from a spiritually mature standpoint, when you think about hope, you don't need it. Of course, you might say, I hope it gets better, but inside of you, you don't feel that. You don't have this feeling of disagreement with what is. The more you disagree with what is, the more you become unconscious and you fall into your subconscious patterns of fight or flight. If you fall into an accident, for example, a car accident, a lot of people will completely lose their memory of the accident itself. And in the same way, if you are in such denial of the moment, whatever it is that you hope it gets better, right? If whatever is happening, whatever you're hoping it gets better than whatever this moment is, can have the ability to slightly diminish your clarity of mind. Now, you might be able to remember the details of the moment, the here and now, but you might not realize that you're not seeing it clearly. Instead, you're seeing it through your desires, the dualistic nature of life, want and not want, like and dislike. And when you project, when you have a feeling, an attitude of resistance against a situation that you are currently in, then it diminishes your cognitive function. You fall into a sort of slumber. You may look back hours in the future and say, you know what, I didn't make a decision that I would normally have, because the situation you were in when you were was unacceptable. So then your mind shuts some of the experience off. It closes itself to the experience, and then a person can project their hope and live in there. So this is not good. This is what you want to avoid. But when you can experience what you're experiencing, and of course, nobody wants to feel uncomfortable or any kind of pain. When you can say, never mind what I want it to be, this is what it is, and what can I do right here and right now? When you look at it that way, that's a very spiritually mature decision. And if you can't do anything about it, then you can accept that too. So, I don't know if any of this stuff resonated with you, because a lot of people, and I'm slightly doubtful making this video, because a lot of people look up to hope and feel as though they couldn't live their lives without it. But I'm telling you that living your life with it is one of the greatest hindrances to finding peace inside yourself, happiness inside yourself, to seeing life as it is and learning to accept life as it is. In order to become mature, emotionally, spiritually, one needs to accept life as it is and to drop hope, to drop projecting yourself wanting to be somewhere different or wanting this to be better than it is. The hope comes from a comparison. You say this is like this is what I want. The two things are bad and good. There's a difference between these two. You're comparing them. And you're saying, in this one I'm less happy, in this one I'm more happy. So you put your mind there and you shut your reality to what is. So I'll leave you to that. If a lot of this stuff doesn't make any sense, good. Explore. And if it never makes sense, good. That's fine. That's okay. It doesn't have to. It was never the point. Wherever you are around the world, whatever time it is that you're watching this video, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.